Two campaigns these last 11 days, all about strategy. How do they get, and this is the number we all got to remember, it's 270. Everything else doesn't matter, okay? How do you get 270 electoral votes? They got their own different theories when they look at the map, but at the end of the day, they got to figure out which voters to target and how to get them and get them into the voting booths 11 days from today, if not before. And how are they going to spend the remaining ad dollars to get that done? Andrew, it's not, you know, this is 101. There's two different ideas here, how they're going to get their different guys to the finish line.
And two distinctly different strategies being employed by the campaigns right now, and they're based on how they can get to that 270 vote plateau. As we've mentioned before on any number of occasions, right now, that appears to be an easier task for President Obama than Mitt Romney. Any of the four paths we're about to show you gets the president another term. First, you have to win all the states that John Kerry took in 2004. He's leading easily in those. Then win any of these other combinations. On the left is the western route, where Obama leads in all but Colorado. There's the Florida path. It's a toss-up right now, but you win Florida and you're home. The southern route, Obama trails in North Carolina, or the Midwest strategy on the right, where Obama leads in both states, or you get some combination of the states listed on the screen to get you to 270. The Obama path can be a more targeted one. Romney still trails, as you saw in many of the states we just showed, so his focus has to be more national in scope. If he can build or expand a lead in the popular vote, the hope is that that rising tide lifts his chances in enough of those swing states to get to 270. So here's what the campaigns are doing. The president is boosting his staffing in Iowa and Ohio. That's the Midwest strategy. He's doubling down on Spanish language ads in Florida and Nevada. He's targeting social media to get more young people to the polls. And the campaign has detailed data on where their fringe voters are, people who vote less frequently or ordered absentee ballots, haven't sent them in yet. Campaign strategy, get them into action. And one more technique, a scare tactic, reminding voters that every single vote could count like they did 12 years ago.
537. The number of votes that changed the course of American history.
Florida is too close to call.
For Team Romney, again, the focus is national and designed to contrast Romney from the president, attack Obama policies, focus on Romney's plans for jobs and growth, stress the governor's emphasis on bipartisanship. That's the idea behind the newest Crossroads ads for Romney, featuring a certain celebrity last seen arguing with an empty chair.
23 million people can't find full-time work, and we borrow $4 billion every single day, much of it from China. When someone doesn't get the job done, you gotta hold them accountable. Obama's second term would be a rerun of the first, and our country just couldn't survive that. We need someone who could turn it around fast, and that man is Mitt Romney.
Romney and the outside group supporting him have more money to spend on ads than Obama does, and while some of those ads will appear on national cable, this map shows you where the bulk of the ads are going. They're going to swing states: Colorado, Nevada, Iowa, Ohio, Virginia, Florida. People there might not see any other kinds of ads on TV, Rich, between now and Election Day.
And for anybody to think, oh, well, I understand it's like between a third and a quarter of the ads haven't even run yet. Can you imagine?
It's going to be wall to wall.
I mean, talk about, I mean, you can't get away from this stuff if you're in Florida or Ohio. Okay. I've been hearing forever, Brad. Trust me, according to the Messina and the Axelrods, we knew we weren't going to have enthusiasm 4 years later like we saw in 08. Our ground game is like something you'd never seen before. Are you buying it?
Yes. There's no question that the ground game for the Democrats is going to be intense. It has to be well organized, and it absolutely will. Look, they had it down in 2008. They've had this much time to organize it. I've seen some of the inner workings, by the way, of their fundraising networks and their capability. Not just the top end, the billionaires, but it's the low dollar people, and they've been generating in as metrics, following how many people are giving money at the very low end. They've got this organization of people to go out and drive the vote out. I think it's something that, that it's probably the most organized group of all.
If they're going to win two constituencies, they're going to have to deliver, in addition to African Americans, okay? They got to get the Latino vote out, and the whole thinking behind the DREAM Act and talks of immigration reform in the second term. That's that. And then the other thing is, when we're talking about women, but also youth, this idea that, hey, younger people don't have landlines in their phone. They're cell numbers. They don't get polled. Now, part of me thinks this is like, they want to believe in the tooth fairy, but is it real that they really believe that the numbers undersampled, that so many of the youth which tend to break Democrat have cell phones or the under 30 set, and they will vote in bigger numbers than the poll numbers at least have shown?
Yeah, well, a couple things. First of all, if the young people get out, it's going to obviously break Democrat. It's going to be something that the Obama team has a great handle on. the text.
But they're not going to vote like they did in 08.
No, they won't. But the text.
They don't have to.
Right. But the text will be is look at the electoral map. It's not the same situation as it was when they were trying to beat McCain. So what we have here, especially after 2 years of Bush, and Bush, obviously had won 2 elections. It was a whole different map. The map right now, you're looking at the basis of John Kerry and what's left after that. But they're great at doing the texting thing. We need to make sure, and when I say we, the Obama team has to make sure that they don't stumble in these next couple of days. Okay. I think one stumble, it's over.
All right. Now, from the Republican perspective, I got to think the money edge, and more specifically, the third-party money, we haven't seen it yet. It's going to come out. Should I assume, I know it's illegal and everything else, but is this going to be coordinated, or is some guy going to go off the reservation with some crazy ad here that Romney's going to have to explain? What kind of an ad barrage are these states going to see? Same messaging we've already seen, or something a little bit different over the last week and a half?
You may see a surprise ad somewhere. Obviously, they can't talk to one another. But
wink, wink, nod,
yeah,
nod.
wink, wink, nod, nod. But listen, the messaging is the messaging. Anybody who pays attention to the media is going to see.
What should the message be?
The message is going to be what Andrew had just talked about before, which is 49 million people on food stamps, 24 million people out of work, $16 trillion of a deficit, and I'm going to help bring you out of that. And that's the message that he's been ringing since the first debate, and that's what you're going to continue to see. You're also going to see failed policies of the Obama administration on the economy, because at the end of the day, and I always say this to you guys, is jobs, jobs, jobs. It is the economy, and that's what they're going to continue to push.
You know what's going to be? Look, I don't think you're going to see one of those third-party, the PACs or anything like that come out with some wild idea. I think they will be coordinated, despite the fact they don't talk to each other. But you have the other Republicans that are running. Some of the other lunatics that come out and they decide they're going to talk about rape. They're going to talk about all this stuff. And you know something? That's not on message.
John, you got a wild card for me? You got something that for example, the storm. We got a storm coming in here. We'll talk about this a little bit. Now, it'll be cleared out, hopefully, before Tuesday. It's got a chance to make the president look presidential. I keep hearing people say that, and I'm like, come on. You buy that?
No, what I think is going to happen. I think what's going to happen is if the polling trend shows the trends which pulling away from Obama, then something's going to mysteriously happen to make him look presidential. And the other way, if the trends show it's pulling away from Romney, they're going to throw everything at Obama, including the kitchen sink. That's when those third parties, and I mean everything. So watch the trending. Jeremiah Wright. Don't think that that's over. Romney's not, as long as he's winning, Jeremiah Wright, I have nothing to do with that. Let the trends go the other way and watch and see what's going to happen.
By the way, those things are already planned.
They're already planned and ready to go.
They're ready to go. There's no question. The kitchen sink mentality, both sides have it. If they have to go to the Hail Mary, that ball's going in the air.
We take a quick break here, but when we come back, we're going to switch a gear that has no politics, but I really thought I want to take a few minutes and get into it. We're talking about police officers. One thing they do, no matter what people feel about certain stories that might come up, cops put their lives on the line every day, and something we saw bloody proof of this week. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about with an expert as well about the reality of the job. Stay with us.